5 Questions with LeRoy Butler. Now, here's Tom Silverstein.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to 5 Questions with LeRoy Butler, the NFC Championship Game edition. Boy, we did this a year ago. Same thing, right?
Yeah. Different results, I hope.
Well, you hope. I see you wearing a Devontae Adams jersey today, huh?
Yeah. It's just certain players, going to step up in big games. He's that guy. Remember the first time he played these guys, a lot of people didn't play, and it just seemed like everything wasn't working. But now it's like a well-oiled machine. And I think when you think about it, we kind of labeled this game, Tom, as the GOAT versus the GOAT with the two quarterbacks. But I think for the most part, people like Devontae Adams, these are the reasons why you're all pro. These are the reasons why we rely upon you to make big catches in these kind of games. So I expect him to have a pretty good game.
Yeah. So before we get to the game, yesterday was kind of a special, important day, I would say. The special day is coming up. But the Hall of Fame electors did their debating and made their votes yesterday. But they're making you wait until February 6th.
Yeah. But I thought Pete did a great job. I think they released all of the presenters about 3 minutes on social media. I thought Pete Doherty did an exceptional job.
Great.
And I don't get in. It ain't because of him putting facts in front of everybody. But sometimes if it's a name that doesn't ring off all 48 people, that are voting, he brought it back home to say, wait a minute, there's something that needs to be addressed. It's guys at his position that are in the last few years, and he's played better, as a better career or just as good a career as those guys. So what's the holdup? But I think the one thing that was kind of almost a mic drop moment, but when you talk about the all-decade team, I'm the only first team all-decade member not in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
that just sticks out. It's almost embarrassing. It's like, wait a minute. But when Atwater was on there, it was like me and him were the last two. I said, okay, well, they don't think about safeties very much. But when Atwater got in, I said, oh, boy. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, I know Pete had some really good testimonials from people who played against you, coached against you. And, it's a process. Sometimes it takes a long time, but, this is the time. Hopefully it's this year. And if it's not, then you'll be back next year, I think. And the year after that and the year after that. So.
And I got that sense, too. That's a good point. I got that sense last year when I was a first-year finalist, that they wanted to get all the Centennial guys in and a few other guys in who've been waiting. And you're almost like you have to get in line if you've been a finalist for years and years and years. So if that's the case, then that's fine. It'll be a while. But if it's not the case, you put in the best guy with the best career, and to be honest with you, I don't know what they go by. I really don't.
Yeah. I had a thought, that sort of struck me, which was that, so that defense in '96 might have been one of the best of all time. Statistically, it certainly was. It was number one defense, but there's only one Hall of Famer on that defense so far. And you can't tell me that was a one-man defense. It was
exactly.
There were multiple players and at least 2 Hall of Famers on there. So that'll maybe people will take a look at that and consider that as part of it too. Point. Yeah. So anyways, we've got fish to fry this week before we could get to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And so big rematch. Rematches in the NFL are always interesting because, especially when it's early season and then you come back to it late season, you never know, what you're going to get because each team has evolved a little bit differently throughout the course of the season. Seasons change teams. The only thing we know for sure with the Bucs is that, boy, their defense is good.
Yeah, they have a good defense. It just seemed like to me though, and they played, and to your point, they played. The Saints beat them twice. It's hard to beat a team 3 times. So, they were able to win, but, turning the ball over, that's how any defense flourishes. When you turn the ball over, and the Saints, Drew Brees turned the ball over, and you had a bad fumble in the fourth quarter and an interception. It's hard to overcome that when the game is so tight. But the thing that I think changed when the Packers played Tampa the first time, first of all, the 2 interceptions that Aaron threw, I don't think you'll ever see that again. But not only that, they weren't able to run the football. Even when the games are close with the Rams, they ran the football, had over 188 yards.
So let me interrupt you for 1 second. I don't think it's that they didn't run it well. It's they didn't run it enough because
they were behind.
They carried 21 times for 94 yards. That's pretty good against the number 1 rated defense.
Yeah, and I like LaFleur, the way his mentality now, because that sets up the play action, Tom. Just run it. Even if sometimes you get 3, 4, 5 yards, run it, boy, then the play action is wide open. Because there's been games where this Tampa defense has given up some big plays, but those teams, that they lost to aren't great teams. They were just finding a way just to get into the playoffs, and after that, anything can happen, of course. But it just seemed like these 2 teams went on 2 different tracks. The Packers are ascending team, everything. I mean, they'll have the MVP quarterback, number 1 scoring offense. That wasn't the number 1 scoring offense that went down to Tampa week 6. This is a different offense. A lot of movement, 2-headed monster at running back, 3 if A.J. Dillon is healthy, not sure there. And then Devontae Adams, and then the other guys, they're going to be put in position, Tom. They got to catch the ball because MVS, Lazard, they're going to be wide open on these play-action plays. They just got to catch it. If they catch it, they'll be fine. If they don't, it's going to be closer than you want.
Yeah, and it's both teams are different, and if you go back and look at it, and I went and watched the game yesterday over again and took pretty heavy notes on it. Aaron Rodgers just didn't play well. It was a bad game. He has bad games, and this was his bad game. He missed Adams on that out route that was a pick 6. He forced the other one that was a pick. He missed a couple of really open receivers that could have turned the game around. And then, there was a lot of pressure, but early on, Matt LaFleur had it covered. It's just that also guys weren't getting open. And so that's something they're going to have to figure out is, how do they attack them again? Do they do some of the same stuff because they think it'll work, or do they just scrap the whole game plan?
Well, I think the game plan will be what got you here the last 6 weeks. I would agree with you, Tom. Aaron didn't play the way he wanted to play, but in his mentality, when he left that stadium in Tampa, he said to himself, "I'll be back." So that means the Super Bowl. So he was thinking, "Okay, I didn't play well. Fine, I'm done with that." Now he's went on to be, MVP quarterback, but the running game is just so amazing he's the best ball handling play action quarterback in the league. The numbers prove that. So if Aaron Jones is running the ball effectively, and I'm gonna say I'm gonna mention something else, Tom. When they go empty backfield sets, nobody can cover them. But you only got 5 guys to protect.
Yeah.
So if they want to blitz empty backfield set, they're gonna be a great opportunities. But again, Lazard, MVS, they got to catch it because they're going to be wide open. Because if it's empty backfield sets, if they just drop everybody, Aaron's going to have plenty of time to get the ball out. If they blitz, somebody's going to be open. It's going to be a linebacker on MVS down the middle. All you got to do is catch it. Great.
Yeah, there's an interesting aspect to that, which is that I thought LaFleur, when he saw Todd Bowles, the Buccaneers defensive coordinator, start the blitz a lot, he kept a lot of guys in. And the problem was Tampa Bay was bringing 5 guys and the Packers were keeping 7 in to block, and they were blocking them, but there was no one open. You're talking about 3 receivers on 6 defensive backs in that case. And it just was not really conducive to moving the ball. So I think what you're saying is right, that they're going to have to spread them out and then try to hit a lot of short stuff. They got to win at the line of scrimmage against those cornerbacks.
Yeah, you'll see a lot of bunch to the right of Aaron Rodgers, like 3 guys really close where they can almost touch each other. And you'll see Aaron Jones motion out to the left by himself. If the linebacker's out there, that's where the ball's going. And now what a bunch does, now guys, most coaches won't blitz a bunch. But if you do, the underneath routes are going to be wide open. So it is a chess match. But again, you could play multiple backs. You could play multiple tight end sets. Just keep throwing personnel at this Tampa defense, because there's been some games where they get a little confused. So I want to see more misdirection, more motion, more jet sweeps, more screens, more draws. Make these guys think. That's the reason why they're the number 1 offense, because the motion on their offense is amazing.
Yeah, maybe this is the game they actually give it to the jet motion guy to keep the team off balance a little bit.
Exactly.
They're going to have to break some tendencies, I think. And then in the run game,
great point.
They need to be successful in the run game, but that means trying to block Devin White and Levante David, the inside linebackers, who are protected. And boy, can they flow. I saw a number of times in that game where Corey Linsley could not get to them because they were so quick to the hole. I don't know if they have to change their run scheme, or just tweak their run scheme so that, it's not Linsley having to pick them up or what. But that's something to look for, I think.
Yeah, that scoop block, if they get that scoop block going, Aaron Jones is going to have a big day. I mean, that's when Linsley and, Jenkins, they're going to that next level, and it cuts off the backside tackle and that linebacker, cuts them off, and there's your cutback lane. That's what they did to the Rams. And Aaron Donald, those guys could not flow. So they're going to cut those angles off. So they're going to stay with what they do, but they're just going to take it further with the double teams. They're going to double team and move to the next level to get those linebackers. Then they can just protect the gaps. And then Aaron Jones can pick his hole. It may be all the way back. It may be A, B. They just toss it to him. He pick his hole. I can see that really confuses linebackers when they don't know where the ball is going to be. But if you have no motion, you just line up, then they kind of figure out, well, this is where the ball is going. If they guess right, it's a big play. If they guess wrong, then it's just 5 yards. But they need the bigger plays in this game.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's flip the script a little bit and go stopping Tom Brady. Now, I thought actually in the first meeting, they didn't play horribly, the defense. Now, at second half, they started giving up some big plays. They didn't have Kevin King. Josh Jackson got exploited some. And they weren't as settled at inside linebacker. Kirksey was out. Kamal Martin was out. Where do you think they have to be really on task with the Tampa offense in terms of defending it?
They got to stop the 2 big backs. I mean, these are some big backs, Fournette and Barber. These guys are big and fast. You got to stop it. And you got to make Tom Brady throw for a career day to beat you, because he's been susceptible to pick sixes and throwing picks as well. But again, if you try to let them get that running game going, they're the same as the Green Bay Packers. Now their play action game works and things of that nature. So they're going to probably mix in some stuff they did with Derrick Henry, with Montgomery, and Akers. Just don't get the explosion runs of 20 and 25 yards. They're going to make some first downs.
Yeah.
But to me, I think you really got to I don't know if Antonio Brown's going to play or not, but their receivers really benefit off of play action and things of that nature. So, and in the red zone, they're going to Evans. He's a red zone receiver. He's a big, tall guy. So, Jair Alexander will have his hands full with these guys because they'll throw at anybody. Tom Brady will throw at anybody. He won't be avoiding Jair Alexander. So this may be the game Jair Alexander gets a pick six and take you to the Super Bowl. I'm expecting him to have a breakout game. He's my player of the week this week, him and Devontae Adams. Those two guys, I think you could ride them all the way to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and they're going to have to cover Gronkowski. They had trouble with him the last time. Adrian Amos was with him a lot, man-to-man, and that just didn't work out very well. So they're going to have to figure out how to handle that. Tampa Bay's offensive line is pretty good. It's their tackles are good, and it's going to be
a rookie too. Wirtz is a rookie, right?
Yes. Tristan Wirfs, the rookie from Iowa, had a great year. Massive human being.
Yeah. But I tell you, when the Packers play 91, 52, 55, and 97, that's a pretty elite group going after the quarterback, and that's what took over in the fourth quarter. So if the Packers get a lead, Tom, 10 points, 14 points, you just unleash those four guys and play coverage behind you because, Rashad Gary, man, this guy has a lot of energy. And these are the games you got to have. He reminds me of, remember Keith McKenzie? All he was a special guy. Just come in on third down and go after the quarterback. That's all he does. That's my role. I come in, I take Sean Jones out, and we go after the quarterback. They got these packages, but they only work if you're up.
Yeah. Gary, I really enjoyed watching him play. He one of a few guys I saw really got under Andrew Whitworth's pads and drove him back. I think that's going to be a great matchup with Tristan Wirfs, who he probably, I'm sure, knows very well, having played Iowa a number of years. So that'll be kind of a fun matchup to watch. When you look at the whole weather situation, I know a lot of people are making a big deal out of it. It might snow. The first thing that came to my mind, and you know about this, is in those late or mid 90s when Tony Dungy was in Tampa, and they had that really good defense. They would come up here in winter, and maybe their offense wasn't great, but their defense loved that kind of situation. They didn't mind playing in that muck, and they were good. They really pushed you guys to the limit. Do you recall that?
Yeah, I really think weather is advantage of a defender. Because receivers are not moving real fast. The ball comes out a little different. But when you're used to it, it shouldn't be an issue. They played in the snow when they played Derrick Henry. And I really think some of the Tennessee guys, it really caught them by surprise. Now, Tom Brady has played, his whole career in pretty much cold weather, but a lot of the guys haven't. It'll be different for them because even if you look on your phone and it says 22 degrees or whatever, it feels like 7. So if you're got any kind of lead going into the second half or the fourth quarter, that doubt starts to set in. It can make a difference because you're going to have a few more fans there. It'll be loud. And it's a historical place, especially for an NFC championship game. We have not had an NFC championship game, in Lambeau in a long time, and especially with the number one quarterback, number one offense, and in my opinion, number one coach with a top 10 defense. They check all the boxes. So I think weather will play a small part, but you're right about it. If you're all pro in any weather. You are what you are.
Yeah. It will be interesting if it is snowing. Tampa's speed, I don't know if that negates their speed a little bit. The Packers aren't a particularly fast team. They are good on turf, but they've proven the last few weeks that they can play on grass too. So it's a good matchup. And then once again, we'll be looking at special teams again. Is this the difference between whether the Packers go to the Super Bowl or not? And that'll be a huge factor.
Yeah, special teams has been disappointing all year, but if they can, I hope Crosby's shoulder is okay. But we'll talk about that. I think we're going to do a post game instead of pregame. But I'll say this time about special teams: just do your job for the most part, but make a play. Strip out the ball. Cause a fumble, because a good special team play. That's the only reason why I have a Super Bowl ring, Tom, is because of Desmond Howard was the MVP. Our special teams, which was number one as well, they really took us all the way to the Super Bowl and won it for us. So these special team guys, here's a time to make up for yourself. And I'm excited for them to have the opportunity, because remember, you're playing in a pandemic, COVID-19, stadium is not as full. I mean, the history books will be written who went to the Super Bowl in a pandemic, so they can make history.
Yep, no question about it. All right.
You ready for my prediction?
That time. Yes, it is. You got a lot of people waiting to see what you're going to predict.
There's no surprise here. I mean, I just think it's a formula to get to the Super Bowl. It's 30-19, Packers. Score 30, hold them to 19. If you do that, you're going to the Super Bowl. I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, you got to try to score your average. Actually, that'll be 1.5 down from scoring. But for defense, over the last 7 weeks, Tom, I think they've been giving up around 17, 18 points. If they do that, that's going to be hard for Tampa to win, if their score is anywhere like that, and that's what I expect.
Okay. All right. Well, you've got some sponsors, and before we get to those, I want to remind everyone that we will be live after the game. This week will be. It starts early enough that we can do a post game, so it'll be about 7:00 p.m. on Sunday. Be sure you join us on JS Online and Packers News and LeRoy's Facebook page.
And you'll be live blogging during the game, right?
Yes, I will be live blogging, and the system will hold up this time. We had a little technical difficulty last week, some gremlins in the Gannett system, so we think we got that fixed.
People expect technical difficulties in this COVID era because we're not used to this, so it's okay. I think fans understand that.
I was extremely frustrated. I looked like Jalen Ramsey after giving up that touchdown to Davante Adams. That was me in the press box.
It's all good. Well, people appreciate you. So first, I want to thank my Game Day Brats. Go to GameDayBrats.com, especially if you're trying to do a little tailgating at home. That'd be fantastic. Ivanhoe Pub and Eatery down in Racine. They're truly amazing. If you go down there or call them up, ask for that LeRoy Butler burger if you're in the Racine area. PickandSave.com. They've been amazing all year. And again, FrankieReithCode.com. We appreciate them being a sponsor all year. And the Jewelry Center with Dean Murray. If you're looking to get married or sell some gold or whatever, go to shoptjc.com, and you can kind of design your own ring too. That's truly amazing. And last but not least, go to leapspirits.com to find out where you can find my famous vodka. That it's been sold out everywhere. I think we're getting more. Matter of fact, this is breaking news. Dun, dun, dun. Never mind. But at all of the pick and saves starting, I think, tomorrow through the weekend, you will be able to go into pick and save and get some. So when you're getting all your stuff together for your tailgating, go into pick and save. If you go to any store and they don't have it, make sure you tell the store director to get it.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and if you're watching the game, please be safe. If you're having a bunch of people over or whatever, please do all you can. We want you to be able to be around for many years to watch our coverage. So
just wear a mask, and then you can still say hi to people and do stuff. But
you can drink your screwdriver with a straw. It works. I've done it.
That'll work. Thanks a lot, guys.
Yep. And don't forget to join us for X's and O's. We'll have a couple look at Tampa. See you next time.
Bye-bye.